Three, two, one. I don't want to die in fucking Canada. Hey everyone, we're Nefarious Reels. I'm your host in Jedi,
And I'm Cole.
and this is Nefarious Reels, where we talk about bad movies and try not to die in Canada.
And also, we're not renaming it to the Not C
The
Party.
not see party.
Notsee.
We
You
have
got
to
to spell
pause because
it.
we can't take the chance. We get demonetized on our videos that don't get monetized. Future prep.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, we talk about bad movies. We watched two of them. I did the retro movie. Therefore, I shall begin talking about Beware Children at Play. So, Beware Children at Play is about well, we start with this father and their son who are out camping, and the father's quoting some like bullshit or something or whatever, and he gets his foot stuck in a bear trap. And over the course of a couple days, he pretty much goes crazy bananas, and he's like, "Yo, son, you gotta eat me." And so the son eats him, and we cut to 10 years later, where an author is going up with his wife and daughter to visit a friend of the family, and help the sheriff guy investigate these disappearances of these children, and then murders happen involving children. Cole, what do you think of Beware, Children at Play?
I don't know how to exactly describe it, but like, for the most part, I would say I was a little bored for most of it, but like, once it got to the end, it got like really funny and very just off the wall crazy, and you were just
Very
like, what
iconic.
is going on? And this was another thing I had on my mind. It reminded me of the Nick Cage movie Mom and Dad, but the roles reversed. Because in that movie, it was like these parents getting basically brainwashed or turning into these weird
Don't worry, Cole. I've seen Mom and
zombies
Dad.
and mm-hmm.
I know what you're talking about. I've
Okay.
seen it. I own the Blu-ray.
Oh, nice.
Nice. But
But yeah,
there's
you can definitely see how it's kind of like Mom and Dad in a way, but
yeah, in a sense.
other way around.
This is technically our first trauma movie. Trauma's most well known for their like really random over the top kind of films, and this is kind of the one I wanted to watch first because Jay
Okay.
from Red Letter Media mentioned it like one time in the best of the worst, and for some reason it's always stuck out in my head because he just mentions that all the kids get killed at the end of the movie, and I was like, oh, that sounds great. Because usually horror films don't kill the kids, and they're like the worst part, and you just want them to die. So this film will complete that itch I have.
This movie went, fuck them kids.
Yeah, but we can get into the ending later because
Mm-hmm.
best part of the whole movie. But we do the I lost my train of thought. This keeps happening.
Take
But
your time.
yeah, we get our beginning section where we get
Segment.
introduced to the father son, and this goes on for a good bit. Which like, cause usually in a film like this, I feel like this would be like this is like the first like couple minutes. They have the father
Mm-hmm.
and the son. The father gets caught in the bear trap and dies like in 2 seconds, and then the kid goes like crazy because that's what it is. But this thing goes on for about like a good solid like 10-15 minutes. Like you have them playing, then you have them like a scene with them fishing, and then they're just like have the campfire and they're like cooking everything. To really sell that they're camping. I don't know if you've ever been camping before, but that's what camping's like.
Yeah, I've been camping before, but it was like when I was, I don't know, eight maybe, 8 or 9.
Eight or
No,
nine.
probably more like 6 to 8, I would say about.
You ended up stopping when your dad got his foot caught in the bear trap, and then you had to eat him to survive.
Yep.
But yeah,
Yep, that's what happened. We trying to make a smoke signal, no one came, and then we were like, well,
well,
gotta
sorry,
eat
Dad.
ya.
Guess we gotta eat you now.
Gotta eat
It's
ya.
only been 2 hours,
And then Armie Hammer came out of nowhere. He's like, can I join?
and you're like, no, get out of here, Armie Hammer.
No, get the fuck out of here, Armie.
Get your own dad to eat. But then we
Yeah,
get
leave us alone.
and so we cut 10 years. We instantly jump 10 years in the future. We get introduced to our main character, author guy.
Sean.
Oh yeah, it's John.
Sean.
We get
Yeah,
John,
it's
who's a hack fraud author who writes about like UFOs and like psychics and all that. And then he has his bitch wife who just nags him about your covers have boobies on it, and that's bad, and your writing's bad.
And you just kind of wonder, how did they like fall in love in the first place, if they ever did?
I don't know. Well,
Because they're just
originally,
this mad at each other. I'm like, what is going on?
he used to write for what like the Times, and now he writes like these like stuff, and he's like, well, at least I get paid, unlike you. And then he got there his annoying daughter who's like, I want to pee. Are we there yet?
Yeah, because you always got to make the kids annoying. You can't make them like act well or anything. No, you
Yeah.
just got to make them these annoying little twerps.
Well, in the end, that works out because of the ending.
Oh yeah,
Like in
true.
hindsight, that actually is great for the movie, considering what we got at the end. But they end up pulling over to the side of the road. Oh, first they try to avoid this guy who's off the side of the road, but then they hit a kid, which is similar to Children of the Corn. Actually, now I'm curious because I know in Children of Corn a kid gets hit with
Mm-hmm.
a car. Now I'm curious to see when did this come out. So let's see. So Beware Children at Play came out in 1989. I think Children of the Corn is earlier.
Children of the Corn was definitely before then.
We're
If
gonna
this was
find out.
'89,
Let's see. Children of the Corn. Now that I'm thinking, it's like now I wish I watched the documentary that was on the Blu-ray of this. Yeah, children.
1984.
Oh my God, it's literally 1984. There's also a remake in 2020, and I haven't heard of this like at all.
Neither have I.
Yeah, well, apparently it has a 1.8, so maybe I need to change my recommendation last second here. It's direct. The Children of the Corn remake was made by the guy who made Equilibrium.
Oh, and Ultraviolet. So he's got some real good movies under his belt.
And then he was just like, you know what? I think I'm gonna remake Children of the Corn. No one has ever done that before.
No one's ever remade a horror movie from the 70s or 80s.
Honestly, actually, kind of. I haven't seen Children of the Corn, but thinking
Either have
about
I.
it, I would. I've seen like one Children of the Corn film. It was like another like different remake of it. But like, think on this. I wonder if this is kind of like a parody version of Children of the Corn. Because
Maybe.
because Children of the Corn is literally about a cult of children basically harassing adults, and this is kind of like the same thing. Now I'm gonna have to like watch the documentary of this that they have on the Vinegar Syndrome Blu-ray, which you didn't get because they fucking got delayed. Those fuckers, they delayed your Blu-ray copy I was sending you.
Shame.
But yeah, that's That's just an interesting thing to note. But back to discussing the movie. Basically, they hit a kid, but he runs into the thing, and then the old guy's like, "Oh, you better be careful out here. There are a bunch of Bible thumpers. There's the brownies.
Yeah, the
You know,
I love that name, the Brownies. It just sounds, I don't know why this goes to me right away, but it sounds like some like poop cult for some reason. Or they just make really good brownies.
or maybe they use poop to make brownies.
Ooh. Because they're in like the middle of buttfuck nowhere, New Jersey. Yet they all sound super southern,
That's
which
I
I find confusing.
have you ever been to New Jersey?
Well, not New Jersey. I haven't even on the East Coast. I've only been through like Missouri, not Missouri, Maryland down.
Oh, nice.
So I haven't been to the Northeast, I would say.
Maybe they just sound like that in New Jersey. That's like the two accents they have: Southern and New Jerseyan, and like
Mm.
Southern and Jersey Shore.
Hey, Jersey
Hey,
Shore,
yo, which means the situation.
and Snooky, and Paulie D.
But we get like the info dump about the brownies and how they're a bunch of crazy
Mm-hmm.
religious zealots, and that they're underground now. But this won't be. Basically, it's just an info dump for like near the end of the movie, pretty much, because the brownies serve really no purpose till like near the end. But they go into town and they meet the sheriff, which was what's his name, Sheriff like Frank or something, like or like Dennis.
Sheriff. I was about to say maybe I could check it, but then I was like, I think I only just wrote sheriff down.
A
So,
sheriff is fine. Who basically one of his daughters went missing with all these missing
yep.
children that disappear every like once a month, and pretty much he's like, "Hey John, I need your help on the case."
John.
John, that's how they say his name. They go John, voice crack and all. He's like,
Makes it more
John.
authentic sounding.
He's like, I need your help, and I need you to bring your psychic friend down from one of your books, one of your
Yeah, bring
titty books.
one of your weirdo friends in your gross, disgusting titty books.
Yeah, but of
Bring them
course,
down now.
while the investigation had those, we get to learn that the kids are now killing the adults.
What?
And here's another comparison I want to go, because in Children of the Corn they have like the corn sickle, that's like a
Mm-hmm.
titular thing, and the way that because the first guy that kills the Bible thumper guy, because he goes to like a Brian, I think that's his name. No, Braun. It's like Braun, I think. The former Braun. He goes up there and then he gets killed by like that really big sickle,
Mm-hmm.
which is one of the one of the more gorier things. He gets like cut by it, and then he's like lying on the ground, and then when he like gets approached by the kids, he like pulls himself out, and like half his body is like he's been cut in
Oh
half.
yeah. Yeah, that was that was honestly kind of a hilarious, wonderful effect. Just because it was like kind of CG'd, but you could definitely see, like where they were kind of
No,
shifting his body.
I don't think it was CG.
Maybe it wasn't CG.
I think you're
It just
thinking
looked
of
a little.
Tusk.
Maybe I'm just thinking of Tusk.
Yeah, because Tusk that was CG, but I'm pretty sure that was like a practical
That was
effect or
probably more
something.
practical, but it was kind of funny though when he's like though moving, like you can definitely see where his body's like shifting, and you're like, I
I
like that kind of stuff when it's like kind of goofy, but you're like, they tried. I like it.
the thing is like they could have done it where it's like when he's cut, like it's already you can tell he's like split. Like here's the legs and here's the other half, but they show
Sure.
it where he's not in half yet, or like you can see the line, and
Mm-hmm.
then when it cuts back, then it cuts him looking up and then starting to crawl back, and then you're gonna be like, oh yeah, he's in half. That was funny. I think the main point I have to make is that the investigation stuff is mostly boring, and it is kind of you just waiting for when they get next to like the big kill scene. The next moment
Yeah,
when
that was kind
someone
of
dies.
boring. Well, like any of that like investigation stuff is so just blah.
I think that's really just a falling. I feel like a
Mm-hmm.
lot of these kind of B movie, like rando killer movie things do is that usually there's a lot of things like we need to do the thing, and now we're gonna walk around look for the thing, and we didn't find the thing, so now we're gonna go back and look at the back to the other place to look for this thing, and that's basically it. And it's just basically there to string together all the cool, fun kill parts.
Yeah,
Like it's a very basically this is our story, and we're doing this investigation. And it's like okay, and what happens? Well, they investigate, and then they
and they don't
investigate
find
some
any
more.
conclusions for like an hour. They just run all around town, talk to the local folk, maybe talk to some outsiders, probably bring the protagonist along too, just to spice it up a little bit, see if they can maybe do the cop's job better than they ever could.
I
Something like that.
I do have to note that they do introduce this one reporter character who's the biggest bitch in the whole movie. She's just like, "Oh, sheriff, you haven't found anyone? Is it because you suck dick at your job? Is it
Oh
because you're dumb,
yeah.
stupid, dumb idiot cop guy? Oh, and you're bringing your author dude who puts tits on his covers, who does psychic and stuff? Maybe aliens came. Ooh," and he's like, "Oh, I hope this bitch fucking dies." And you know what? Ask and thou shalt receive, because she gets fucking like speared with like wooden stakes,
Yeah, it
and
was
also
like
a pretty funny fashion
yes.
too.
I was glad when they all died. When every character that died did.
Yeah, it was pretty great. But I think what makes that scene funny is because it's just two kids and they have like this fence, and she's like running away from like a different murdered body, and then
Mm-hmm.
they just go 1, 2, 3, and they just pick it up, and she runs in and she's like, "Ah, I'm fucking dead," and she just gets impaled, and it's like yes. I guess while we're talking, we should talk about another. Ironically, it's an off-screen death, but it's probably one of the funniest ones where there's the wife of the farmer Braun, and they talk about how their like kid is missing. And then
Mm.
she's just like,
Yep.
"Jimmy, are you out there?" And he's like, "Don't go out there." And then she does, and he's just like, it's just him like just reading a book, and you hear, "Ah!" And I was just thinking, she's dead,
Yep.
dead, dead, dead. And then she shows up later when the porter goes out to her, and she's a scarecrow. And then they put a rat on like the fucking like dead body to just walk around on for the shot. Like
Because you gotta make sure that they're dead.
you gotta make sure they seem to. I just imagine they set it up, and then the guy just like walks up holding like a rat by the tail. Like, hey guys, like I found this rat. Let's like put it on the scarecrow, the dummy. And they're like, okay, yeah, sure, why not? But let's talk about the more boring investigation part, because they basically have no lead. So first, he brings in a psychic to pretty much try to like
Yep.
detect it, and it's like, oh, I need a rest. I'm tired, and then I can figure out what this doll means. And then later she goes to the cabin and he's like, "Yes, I'm getting the feel." Wait, no, I'm jumping ahead a little. So basically, the sheriff has $2. One gets stolen, and then in the movie, another one gets captured by what they call our main protagonist's daughter, who calls them the Woodies, which is what spurs on to speed up in the investigation at that point. And the sheriff gives the doll to the psychic, and the psychic's like, "I'm getting it ready," but as the psychic saves the cabin, the daughter comes to pick up the doll, and she's like, "Oh, wait, dear, where are you going?" And he's like, "Oh, hello, kitty." And then she just gets surrounded by children. They just beat her to death. They throw rocks at her, and then they beat her to death. Yeah, and then the psychic gets pulled out, and then there's
Mm-hmm.
another, like, she was my friend, and then the reporter comes in again and is just like, wow, the psychic, you suck, and you're bad at your job, and you stink. I'm the
Yeah, like, oh,
reporter.
you could do the job better? Okay, try it. Like, right. He should have just been like, take off his like uniform, all that. It's like, oh, you think it's so easy? Try it right now.
She did. She went to
Flip roles.
Farmer Braun for an interview, which is what the sheriff was doing, and then she got fucking killed.
Son, not that easy, hey?
Yeah, take that, feminist.
Yeah, take that.
But I think the investigation does get a little interesting because they're just like because when the kids kill the psychic and then eat her, there's like a random couple banging off in the distance, and when they hear the chanting, which is just like gobble the flesh, like break the bones, gobble the
Yeah,
flesh,
gobble the flesh, rig the bones, something with blood, gulp the blood.
they gulp the blood. Yeah,
Yeah,
probably
it was
is.
something like yeah, like, there was something with gulp in it. And it was pretty, and I'm pretty sure it's gulp the blood.
Yeah, but I think this is the most interesting part of the investigation when they're like bringing up, and then the wife, because she teaches college English, she's just like, "That's from Beowulf." And it's like the Anglo-Saxon like way of talking, and that's Beowulf, and that actually brings them like the break in the case,
Mm-hmm.
which makes it a little more interesting than just we need to talk to everyone in town before eventually we go until we accidentally stumble upon the children cult, which is I feel like how a normal film would probably go around with it.
Yeah.
And it does kind of lead to a funny scene where they go to the library to kind of like search up, and they learn about the dead dad guy, and he was like a professor with a son that went missing, and they're just like busy with that. When while the two wives, the main character and the sheriff's wife, who I should know, sheriff wife is like kind of going a bit crazy because her daughters are gone. What's funny is they're like, here, stay here where it's safe, and then the wife gets fucking killed by the children as they're pretty much just show up because the daughter gets taken.
Dummy.
Yeah, the children cult show up to take the protagonist's daughter, and then they pretty much just kill the mom. And I love the scene where he's just like, "Can I take this too?" And they're like, "No, you can only take one toy."
No kids.
Even the kids find the kids annoying.
Mm-hmm. Everyone was annoying.
Good thing that most of them die.
Yeah.
But the
Hooray.
woo, yeah, murder. It's fun.
Murder of annoying people.
Yeah,
Yay.
you can kill people as long as they're annoying. Quote, that's a joke. Do not actually kill people because that is illegal.
I got it.
Yeah, but they killed the main protagonist's wife and they captured the sheriff's wife, which I thought was a little weird because I thought it would have been the other way around. You know, because
Mm-hmm.
you kill the crazy wife, and then the protagonist's wife is the one that the husband goes to save in the movie.
Oh yeah,
That
yeah,
that
yeah.
that's what you would think, but no. But basically, once they figure everything out, unfortunately things go wrong. Farmer Braun, who we've barely talked about, who's basically just a crazy farmer, the main crazy farmer Bible thumper guy. He basically riles up the whole town into like a mob in basically an attempt to like because guess what, he's a brownie guys, just like a heads up if you haven't figured that out yet.
Whoa, what?
Yeah, who would have thought? The one guy
What
that's
a
labeled as the
shock.
crazy religious guy, he's a brownie. Who knew? Turns out that talking about brownies
Hmm.
actually was relevant. But he riles up like the town into like a mob, and even though they try to quell it and try to make it not go out of the way, as our protagonist man figures out, oh yeah, it's this cult of children that are just eating people. I'm gonna go in there to save my daughter. Unfortunately, by the time the father goes over there, the mob gets riled up and they take charge. So it becomes a race against time, pretty much, as the protagonist has to save his daughter and save the kids from this cult before the mob comes and kills them all, which,
Yep.
we've already told you they did. I also find that scene like really fucking funny too, because he basically just challenges Grendel, who is the kid from the start of
Slash
the movie.
Glenn.
Yeah, Glenn.
Yep.
And he just
He
kicks his
becomes
ass. Like Glenn hits him with like a club, and then because naturally this adult beats the shit out of this like teenage kid, and he's just like wailing on the fucking guy. And then he just picks up his daughter to like leave, but unfortunately the mob comes, and in a normal movie, the main protagonist guy would successfully talk down the mob, or he would kill Farmer Braun as a show of like, he's dead now, disperse because we have no need to kill the kids. But the
But
direct
because movie, no, it doesn't happen.
no. Because the director realized what actually would be a good ending to the movie is Farmer Braun just fucking shoots our protagonist, and then they just proceed to fucking murder every kid on sight.
I mean, you had like kids getting decapitated, heads exploding. You had basically getting staked up. Almost like anything you could think of, maybe that like someone would murder someone. It was there probably.
Yeah, a lot of kids got shot. A kid got hit in the back of the head with an axe. One kid had a gun put in his mouth, which was kind of comical because you could tell that was like he has this like normal look on his face,
Yeah.
and then he just blasted. The best one was definitely the kid that did get blasted, pow pow, his whole head fucking explodes.
That was probably my favorite one when the whole head just exploded. I was like, oh my god, this
You
is
clapped.
great. I think I no, I didn't clap. I did have like a big burst of laughter though.
That was definitely great.
It was wonderful
There
to
is
see these.
one actually kind of sad death in that one. It's with like the black kid, because he just yells "mommy" and he jumps in the arms of who I'm assuming is his mom, and then she just instantly stabs him in the back, metaphorically and literally.
How shitty.
Yeah, it kind of sucked. But that was like really odd. Everyone gets fucking murdered, and then after that they'll just like walk away. They're like,
Like
"Oh,
nothing
okay, we're
happened.
done.
They're like,
Okay,
okay, our children are dead. What do we do now?
all right, well let's go have sex and repopulate, I guess." But it's revealed
But
that the protagonist's daughter, she survived because her dad fell on top of her, pretty much shielding her from the massacre, which means the cycle will now continue. Dun dun dun.
dun.
It's been about like what, over 30 years. It might as well make a Beware Children at Play too.
Electric Boogaloo.
It'll be called Caution Children at Work.
Mm.
Yeah, see like a nice little like play on words there.
Yep. Yeah, and then Armie Hammer's there.
Yeah, they get Armie Hammer in because he's like, can I actually kill the people and eat them? And they're like, yeah, sure, whatever.
Yeah, go ahead. Why
Can
not?
we blow up your head at the end of
Armie.
the movie?
Armie, when we said kill and eat them, we didn't mean it literally.
You gotta save some for the rest of the crew. We don't have a budget for a catering crew.
We didn't put any budget into the food, so
You gotta share it to everyone else.
Armie.
Armie.
Damn it, Armie. We knew this was a mistake hiring him.
We should have gone. God, what's his name? I can't remember. The guy who plays Hannibal Lecter.
Oh, Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah, and they should. It's like we should have gotten Anthony Hopkins in this movie. He would have saved us some of the body. Why do you think Anthony Hopkins is still alive? Because he eats the flesh of of young people.
Oh. And his role of Hannibal Lecter was actually him.
That was
not
actually
just,
a biopic
portraying
of
a
his life.
character. Okay.
That was a biopic.
What a twist.
What a twist. Anything left you gotta add about Beware Children at Play?
I don't know, not really. Other than kind of boring, but does get kind of goofy fun by the end, though. And especially with like the child slaughter scene, it was kind of worth the watch.
Yeah, it's not too long. It's just like what, like an hour and a half.
Like a little bit under an hour and a
Well, I
half.
mean, granted, Tusk is only like 10 minutes longer, but it definitely feels like a 2 hour movie. So this definitely
Yeah.
doesn't really outstay it. So I'm like the investigation is boring, but since a good
Mm-hmm.
number of stuff is like the children stuff, like honestly, as much fun as we make fun of how like annoying the children are, I think whenever
Their
they
scenes
were
are
on
the better
screen,
ones.
that's when I was like having fun because like
Yep.
clearly these kids cannot act at all, so they're just like
Mm-hmm.
being really goofy. And it's not like a bunch of like 12 to like 16-year-olds, which once again is another thing I think you see. But it's like there's a bunch of like random 6-year-old like kids who are like clearly just like, haha, this is so much fun. I'm having so much fun being in your movie. And like that's like their whole thing. So they're just kind of like
Yep.
smiling and being all like goofy. And since it's
I'm in
just
a movie.
since this is a cheapo troll movie, they're like, yeah, this is funny. We'll keep that in. Why not?
Yeah, it adds a little charm to it, even with the low budget.
Yeah. Yeah, this film, I don't know, pretty fun. I mean, it's no Poultrygeist. Like, if you're gonna watch a trauma movie, I recommend Poultrygeist. Don't look up anything. Don't
Poltergeist.
look up anything about it. Don't look up any clips. Believe me, you have to watch this film as like blindly as possible, because
Bland.
it's pretty great.
Okay.
Yeah, and probably also Toxic Avenger. That's another film that Trauma's really well known for. I'm not watching it yet because I've heard that they're actually gonna be releasing a 4K of like the all the movies. So I'm waiting on that
Okay.
to come out before I do start watching all the Toxic Avenger films. But yeah, overall, Beware Children of Prey, pretty good. Even if it can be boring at times with the investigation stuff. Anything you have left to add about Caution Children at Play? I mean, no, Beware Children at Play.
Beware children at play. Nah. Okay, movie
Okay,
for our
movie.
standards.
I'm glad I watched it. Will you watch this with your dad? Will you watch this with the corpse of your dad when you ate him? To be like, hey, dad, look, they literally made a movie about us.
Whoa, Glenn's literally me.
He's literally Glenn is your original, literally me character.
He is every cannibalistic child's literally me.
No, Glenn is Armie Hammer's literally me character. Armie Hammer watched this movie and he's just like, wow, huh, this character's a lot like me. Maybe I should be a cannibal.
Maybe. I mean, my dad definitely got trapped in a bear trap and we couldn't get any help because I was just an incompetent little bitch who didn't know how to properly call for anything.
Oh no, what if Armie Hammer's just like, he watched the movie as a result? He's like, look at this fucking kid. He waited. You gotta get the meat while it's still moving, you idiot.
I would love to see that now. Just a video of Armie Hammer reacting to Beware Children at Play and seeing how he would react to the cannibalistic scenes. Or
He,
just him watching any cannibal movies in general.
he's just like watching the kids eat, and he's like, no, no, you're just eating the skin. That's not very good. That's all rubbery. You gotta get deeper into the flesh parts. That's the good stuff. Anyway, if we got nothing left to say about Beware Children at Play, it's time to move on to the modern movie. An A24 film, so it has to be good.
It has to be good.
It
It's
has to be
A24.
good. Cole, talk about your movie, Tusk.
Yeah, so my movie was Tusk from 2014, directed by everyone's favorite nerd, Kevin Smith. And this movie was supposed is like the first of this like trilogy of horror comedies called the True North trilogy, because you can obviously guess they all take place in Canada.
Yeah, there's this one. I know there's Yoga Hoser,
Yoga Hoser, and there's
which,
supposed to be one called Moose Jaws, but it's never like came out yet.
well, I mean, maybe we should have waited a bit before you recommended Tusk. We could have had this be like the trilogy.
Yeah, but Moose Jaws isn't out yet though, so I don't know when that will be.
Yeah, I know. Maybe, what if it came out like tomorrow? That would be
And then
like,
we're like,
you're like,
God damn it.
ah, we'll do it anyway. We'll just rewatch Tusk as like the true masterpiece that it is.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, keep going.
But yeah, basically the whole premise is Justin Long is a podcast host with Haley Joel Osment where they're called the Notsee party. And Justin Long basically he like interviews people from I guess around the world it seems that are either like interesting or weird, and
No,
then he
just people he
reports it
can make fun of.
basically to make fun of, and then he talks about to Haley Joel Osment. So he goes to Canada because there was this ripoff of Star Wars kid called Kill Bill Kid who chopped his leg off, but once he gets there, the Kill Bill Kid Minecrafted himself, and then he's like, "Shit, I don't know what I'm gonna do now. We got to record. We got to record something." And he finds this ad in the bathroom at this bar he's in, and it's about this guy who was a quote unquote former seaman.
Heh.
Seaman.
Heh.
But yeah, he was like, but he was gonna tell him these stories about what like life was on the ocean and all. But his plans are a little more different because he wants to turn Justin Long into a walrus.
You know, the average furry encounter, pretty much. This
Yes,
film is just like what it's like when you decide to move into a furry's house.
basically.
Holy crap, Lois. Do not go to a furry's house. Literally worst mistake of my life.
And even before we get into the discussion, there was something else I wanted to add on about it. So apparently, the idea for this film came from the recording of the Smodcast
Yeah,
called The Walrus and the Carpenter, where Kevin Smith and his longtime friend and producer Scott Mosier, probably. This is all on Wikipedia. Yeah, and it says they discussed an article featuring a Gumtree ad where a homeowner is offering a living situation free of charge, and if the lodger agrees to dress as a walrus.
yeah, I saw that at the credits where it's like, oh, because at the start of the movie it goes based on a true story. I was thinking, is
Yeah,
this one of those things they just put on there to make you go, whoa, this really happened? What?
I don't think dressing as a walrus though was like, that kind of walrus in the movie we saw.
I mean, we don't really know that though, do we?
That's true. Yeah, but it's honestly even more funny because when they were talking about it, Kevin Smith then told his Twitter followers to tweet either hashtag walrus yes or hashtag walrus no if they wanted to see this hypothetical turn into a movie.
And they did.
And most of them said walrus yes, so obviously this movie came to be.
Well, I guess I can give Kevin Smith this. You know, he put his money where his mouth was.
Mm-hmm.
I can imagine him looking at tweets. What, you don't think I won't do it? Maybe him saying Walrus yes, that wasn't like a funny little joke. Like that was a threat. Like if you say yes, I'm gonna make the fucking movie. Okay, watch your ass. I'm gonna fucking come for you when I make this. Okay. The fucking walrus suit. That's not like a prosthetic. That's literally the skin of the people who said walrus yet. Yes.
Oh God. No, it's just this. It was just the fermented skin of Ed Gein's victims.
Kevin Smith is going up to Canada. He stops in Wisconsin. Is just like,
Yep.
you know, I might as well while I'm here.
Yeah,
Let me
might as
take
well.
some
I'm
of
on
the
the way up
skin.
to Canada, so why not?
But finish your synopsis.
That's basically the whole synopsis, really.
Oh,
Oh yeah, and then I guess Haley Joel Osment and his Justin Long's girlfriend Allie try to go help him after he gives him this
phone call.
suspicious phone call about him being captured, and yeah. So, what did you think about this?
Well, at first, I wasn't really hating it like other people do. But then Johnny Depp shows up. And then I go, yes, the film must be, what, like 15, 20 minutes left? And then I
Yes.
checked, and I was like, oh my fucking god. I still have 40 minutes to go.
Yes. You know how there was that movie that came out the year after this, Mordecai? And people were saying it
Haven't
was
seen
so
it, but I
bad. It
know
was
about
like,
it.
yeah, it was supposed to be like one of those movies that was like so bad. They were like, oh, this could have killed Johnny Depp's career. I'm like, did you guys see his role in Tusk? With the very faked French accent and just hammed up half-assed line delivery on
To
everything.
be fair,
It
the character was from Quebec, the
that
most
I mean, yes, it is
fakest French
true.
part of Canada. Quebec is
Yeah, I guess that is
France light,
true.
pretty much.
But still, it was like, what the fuck are you doing?
By saying that, I have now guaranteed that we're never gonna have Quebec listeners to this podcast.
Yeah.
Oh well. Worth it for the joke.
That's it. Yeah.
It was me. I was Justin Long the whole time. Justin Long is my literally me character.
You, Justin Long in this is you're literally me.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to a house to get like watch a I'm gonna see an Abby like I have a massive bad movie collection and I'm willing to watch them all give them all to someone who goes to my house for free lodging. And then I'm gonna go up and I'm gonna be putting enough stuff in a fucking like I don't know, like an anteater costume or something.
Anteater.
Yeah, anteater. Walrus
Interesting.
Walrus is out. Anteaters are so in right now.
Mm.
Or
Interesting.
maybe
That'll
I'll be
be.
like I'll be stuffed in like a turtle costume, but like the turtle shell is made of like human skulls or something, like
Oh
the
God.
cranium half. What I'm saying is, Kevin
Yep.
Smith, give me the money, I'll make Tusk too, and it'll be about a guy getting crammed in a turtle outfit.
But that doesn't even. But turtles don't have tusks.
It's the prehistoric turtle then.
Okay,
Like
maybe.
it's a guy who's just like I have a scientific hypothesis that turtles in the ancient eras before the full evolution form had tusks, and I was laughed out of the community. But now that I have you here, I can prove how it works. And it's all dumb bullshit because he's a crazy. So I can get away with that
Because he's crazy.
because he's crazy.
Crazy.
Yeah. And then we'll get Johnny Depp in as the Quebec guy.
Yeah, he'll be back as the Quebec guy. But instead of Justin Long, who else are we putting into this turtle
This
suit?
one is Harry
Oh,
Joel
it's gonna be
Osment.
Haley Joel Osment.
Haley Joel Osment is in this one.
Okay.
And then in the third film, it'll be Allie. Tusk
Ah.
3. In this one, it's a giraffe. So they have to
Oh,
elongate her neck. And that one's the guy who's like, did you know the giraffe has the same amount of vertebrae in his neck as humans? And it's bullshit like that. We're making Tusk into a franchise.
I think we need to back up and make Tusk 2 just a human centipede ripoff with our three main people, with Wallace, Allie, and
Johnny Depp.
Teddy. Oh, Johnny Depp.
Not his
Haley Joel
character,
Osment's
just
like,
Johnny Depp, like
thank
the regular.
God. Yeah, and then we'll have Johnny Depp in the back because he eats all the shit now.
Yeah, they got sick of hearing his Quebecan accent, and they're just like,
They
"You're
were
getting
like,
the back.
shut the fuck up. You are in the back.
You're getting
We
the
don't
caboose.
care,
You
you're
are not only
Johnny Depp."
you do not get to speak, and you do not get your ass eaten out."
Yeah.
But Tusk movie, right?
Yeah, I guess. Let's go
I
into
didn't
Tusk.
hate it until Johnny Depp came in, and then suddenly the movie felt like a million times longer and a million times worse.
Mm-hmm. I could definitely see that.
I feel a little bad because this is technically my first Kevin Smith movie, despite owning arguably what is considered his better ones, like Chasing Amy and Mallrats.
Chasing Amy, I don't know. I watched that recently. It was not that good.
Oh, really? Well, it has a
It's
Criterion, so sorry, you're wrong.
oh, damn it. 2 episodes in a row, I'm wrong.
You're just being real bad.
I'm a bad boy.
Think, Cole. Would this movie really be bad if it was on the Criterion collection?
I don't know. Jellyfish Eyes is.
We haven't seen Jellyfish Eyes though.
Yeah.
What do you think? What if Tusk got on the Criterion collection? What do you think people will start going? This is an unknown masterpiece of cinema. There's just
Something
misunderstood beyond the filthy normies.
I mean, this movie does have a cult following in some ways. Among some like online circles, it said. I'm like, there's probably some people who really do say that it's like a unbeknownst or yeah, like misunderstood masterpiece of cinema. Like, yeah, I'm pretty sure that a movie based an idea on a podcast
That
is
was decided by
misunderstood.
a fucking hashtag.
Yeah, a fucking hashtag on Twitter.
It's deep. It's levels of metas we just can't understand, Cole.
I guess I'm not really getting the subtext here, really.
You're just a hater from the Kevin Smith vision.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, we got super sidetracked. We should probably actually talk about
Yeah.
like the movie.
Yeah, so if we're gonna talk about Tusk, so yeah, we start off with the podcast, where at some points you can definitely see why, like, if they're not trying to associate with, fucking Nazis, then why are you referring to your podcast as something that sounds like Nazi? You said it very quickly,
It's just quick.
or you end your podcast going, join the Nazi party.
It's just like shock value and like anchor clicks and stuff, pretty
It
much.
it just sounds like edgy. It sounds like something some edgy teens would have done just to
This
be funny.
If there's one thing this film was ahead of its time, it's stuff like this, because this is like way more prevalent nowadays. I feel like this kind of
Yeah,
like shock humor kind of stuff and how like getting the views. So I guess in a way, it was that part's a little ahead of its time.
clickbait.
Just be a big fucking asshole douchebag with a
Yeah.
podcast, not us. We're not douchebag
Oh no,
assholes.
we're
We're just
cool
regular assholes, so it's okay.
because we just dunk on bad movies.
And that's okay because they're bad, so we can get away with it.
Yeah, yeah. I was even gonna say this too. Okay, I know we're gonna get sidetracked again, but have you seen Barbarian yet from last year?
Yes, I've seen I saw it in
Okay, I was
theater.
about to
Ooh,
say
good movie.
because that Justin Long in there, he was also a douchebag, but he could be like redeemed in some ways in that one.
You can argue
Like
something like
he at
that.
least had like a he felt more like humanistic than just this Tusk version of him, where he's just like, I'm gonna interview this kid to get him even more humiliated, probably because he's such a loser.
That's true. It's interesting you put the barbarian comparison because kind of similar to Tusk. They have like that cut to like the future when they're searching for him with like Mordecai kind of.
Mm-hmm.
So there's something kind of similar like that. Although Barbarian does it better. Spoilers for Barbarian. Kind of
Yeah,
late for
Barbarian
that.
does a lot of things better, even if I wasn't the biggest on it.
Yeah, they did the walrus stuffing scene better in Barbarian than in Tusk.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, someone's vacuuming near my room. Is it getting picked up? Can you hear that?
I can kind of hear it.
Damn it. Oh well, people can hear you open your door like 20 times the
Yeah,
last two
they can
episodes.
hear my door or even hear my dog barking.
Yeah. Well, people love
Yeah,
dogs.
yeah, it's true.
I just want to note that like in our video analytics, every time your dog barks, there's a huge spike in viewership, and then it just drips down again. People are like, "There's a dog? Oh, the dog's
There's
gone."
a dog? Oh my god. I gotta watch it now. There's a dog in here.
And they're like, "Oh, the dog stopped barking. Okay, this is bad now. I'm
Damn
leaving."
it.
Movie. We keep
Okay,
we
movie.
movie.
Yeah, so oh yes. Yeah, so they're talking their podcast, like I mentioned before, about the Kill Bill kids. So it's this video where, instead of whatever the Star Wars kid was using, it was like a
A samurai
kind of
sword.
like a bow staff. The Kill Bill kid uses a samurai sword and cuts his leg off
Very
with
CG.
really bad CG.
That was like really.
And they're
I guess
just
you can argue like
laughing.
how do you do that scene like organically?
Yeah, that's true.
But like still, I mean, beware children play had a guy get cut in half. Okay.
Yeah, that is true.
Like
They had a guy
honestly,
get cut
even
in
if
half,
it
they
was
had
like
kid,
a
his head
cheap
exploded.
looking actual effect, it'd still probably
Mm-hmm.
be more interesting and charming than
Mm-hmm.
like this. There is a real missed opportunity to go like watching videos like I bet that guy didn't really chop off his leg. I bet like a video like of that like because that would have been kind of funny like a little like a hit like a little meta joke like that looks fake. I bet he isn't even missing a leg. I bet
But no, they don't do that. They could have been clever with that, but no.
they don't. But Justin
Yeah,
Long's gonna go up and interview the
he's
guy,
gonna go up to Winnipeg area.
where we get to see the epic mealtime guy.
Yeah, we get to see the sauce boss,
That
Harvey
was
Mortenstein.
really, I don't know. That was really weird. I wasn't expecting that. Like, did you know he was in this movie?
I've seen this before. I knew he was.
Uh,
Yeah, but I remember him in it. But honestly, if this was like 12 or 13-year-old me, I would have been like, holy shit, it's the epic mealtime guy.
Is it the epic mealtime guy? That's like my
They
kid's
put-
voice for everything.
They put bacon on everything.
They put the bacon on the bacon.
They put bacon in the bacon.
Oh my god, it's never been done before.
Whoa.
But yeah, they
But
go and it
but
turns.
yeah, he goes to Canada, meets Epic Mealtime guy at the customs counter, and then after getting his Canada do's and Canada don'ts, he heads out to the house of Kill Bill Kid in a rental car, and he finds out there's a funeral
Yeah,
because
killed big
yeah,
guy,
Kill
killed himself.
Bill Kill
Killed
Billed
himself.
himself.
What an asshole. Fuck
And then
that
yeah,
kid.
Justin Long's like, fuck, what a fucking asshole, piece of shit.
I don't
I
know.
was gonna interview him.
It got a laugh out of me when he shows up and he sees it and he goes, "Fuck."
Shit.
Yeah, but he's just like, I can't get my story. I went to Canada for nothing, and Canada sucks because it's cold, and they only
Because
care
it's
about hockey.
cold and yeah, they only talk about hockey and moose and all that or
And
something.
they keep driving around their Zambonis.
Yeah, they don't drive cars, they drive Zambonis around.
It's
And
either
they
they
also
only
ice
drive
skate.
Zambonis or moose, and that's it.
They drive moose.
They drive the moose.
They drive the moose dairy.
And it's
But
like,
yeah.
but then he goes to take a piss where he gets like finds like a note in
Yeah,
a
he
bathroom
just
bar.
yeah, in the bathroom bar and about all of these stories on his journeys as a seaman.
Hehehe.
And then he yeah, calls him on the phone number and so he has to go to Bifrost, which is about 2 hours away.
It's a boot.
And he is at this like gas station place called A to Z.
Yeah,
A to Z.
we're basically the
Where we
two
get
girls, the stars
Kevin
of.
Smith's daughter and Johnny Depp's daughter. Who's better in this than the idol?
Yeah, and she also shows up in Yoga Hosen, which is the sequel to this movie, technically,
Yeah,
part of
they're
the
the yoga
trilogy.
hosers.
So, we're gonna have to watch that eventually.
Probably.
But then
But
we.
yeah, then he goes to Bifrost, which sounds like a planet on I don't know. It sounds like one of those sci-fi planets.
It sounds like a Mountain Dew flavor.
That too. Mountain Dew Bifrost. Taste the frost.
Bifrost, that's like the Mountain Dew flavor for Pride Month. Only for 1 month limited time. Mountain Dew Bifrost. But
Yep.
we go up and we get introduced to Howard Howe.
Howard Howe.
And I think their whole like conversation they have is I think the most interesting part of the movie for me.
It was the most like engaging because he's talking about all these stories about how he saw Ernest Hemingway on like the days before D-Day and talking about how he was stranded out in like the sea in Siberia and he met a walrus, but he eventually had to eat the walrus to survive before
And how he has like
getting
the penis of
saved.
a walrus on his mounted wall.
Not the penis, it's like the bone in the penis to make it stay erect, I think is what it was.
Yeah, but saying it's the penis is
Something like
funnier,
that.
Cole. Cole, it's
That is
funnier to
true.
say it's the penis and he has a boner.
Sorry.
He has a boner on his wall, guys.
He's got a walrus boner on his wall.
But that's like kind of the most interesting because Justin Long's not being like a complete asshole. He's just being a bit of a like a douchey kind of kid.
Yeah, because he's like, hey, you old fucks don't know what the fuck a podcast is. Because you're old and you don't watch stuff on
Yeah,
the internet.
he's being a bit of a douchebag, but he's not like tolerable. This is like his most likable kind of pretty much. Like he's being
The most
douchey.
likable throughout.
Yeah, it's like he's being douchey, but he's not like hateable.
Mm-hmm.
If like that makes sense.
Yeah.
This is like if he was like this like the whole movie, he's like douchey, but he's still kind of likable because you don't feel like he's like it's not at the expense. Like yeah, he's like oh you don't know what a podcast is, but like
Yeah,
he's
old,
overall still kind of like
hashtag
respectful,
cringe.
and he does he's like he can quote it like oh yeah that's Hemingway, I know what you're talking about, or he does get like he's like you know who Hemingway is, and like that's the ball that's like so cool. Like he is like interested like in the stories,
Mm-hmm.
which is like kind of neat, which is like kind of
Yeah, that
different
was
because
the most fun Justin Long was.
yeah, because like in your head you're thinking, oh, he's just gonna be like a total asshole because that's how he acts. Like on pod, like I think the thing if he was just like an asshole douchebag like on the podcast, but he was just like a little douchey like outside of it, like he's playing up a character on the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I think that'd be fine because like outside of it, he's just more or less kind of like that to people. Except when
True.
he was with Howard Howe, and I'm guessing in a sense you could say, oh, he's being respectful because he wants to get all these stories so he can make fun of him when he goes back for the podcast.
Yep.
I love how he's like, this tea. It's like this is the best tea, like, and I'm not like
Yeah,
even a tea person.
it's just tea though. I
Well,
mean, unless
he
it's like
soaks
the
the
most
leaves in the brandy and just
to
leaves it
get
in
him
there.
drunk.
I was
And
think
then eventually it leads him to getting drugged and passing out.
I thought he was gonna pass out at that scene when he went, this is a great team because I thought Howard House goes like, oh, it's the brandy, and it's also the sleeping pills I put in the drink, and he goes,
Yeah, it's
what?
what?
And then he just like collapses and falls over.
Yeah, and then he like just falls like face flat.
Yeah, but we do kind of get us up and we learn about like the walrus, and this is where we get the weird little the tusk insight. Where we're heading
The
in with this.
lore on the walrus.
Also, just a quick side tangent I want to make. The cover they have on Letterboxd for Tusk is like really really good, but the Blu-ray they have of it, like
The
A24
Blu-ray, it's
Blu-ray,
just
fucking
Justin Long with the
sucks.
fangs, with the tusks.
Like it fucking sucks. Like you have such a
I
good
know
like
the
poster
Letterboxd one
cover.
is a lot more like intriguing. It makes you go, "Ooh, what is
It's
this?"
like it's so good, and then it's like you get like you look at the Blu-ray,
And
and it's
then
like
you
that
get the
looks
Blu-ray, and you're
stupid.
like, "This sucks." Damn,
Like damn, you had such a good cover, and you just fucked it up.
fucking Kevin.
I blame A24 because I highly doubt Kevin Smith fucking approved of this cover.
Maybe.
I mean, I don't know who to blame for this, but we'll see. Well, we'll figure it out. Maybe he
We'll
discusses
figure it out.
Maybe it's
Maybe.
in the special features of Tusk if there are any.
Maybe. If there aren't, probably
Yeah,
might.
there's a 20 years of Tusk featurette, and there's a making a
20
Tusk.
years.
I don't know. I don't
Jeez.
think this film hasn't even been out for 20 years. Maybe this was Kevin Smith's like magnum opus. Like this is a film he wanted to make, but he
This
had
was
to
the
make
movie to
Clerks.
fulfill his walrus fetish.
Yeah, Kevin Smith is a furry. Maybe that's what Tusk 2 is. Tusk 2
Maybe.
is like Kevin Smith making Tusk with Justin Long, but he actually like makes him the walrus
But
suit.
it's just Justin Long in a walrus persona suit.
And he's just
Yes.
like, yes, Justin, that's what you must do.
Dance, Justin, dance.
Okay, we're gonna have to file this under all the movies we
Yep.
have to make. Tammy and the Sandworm,
Worm.
Tusk,
Tusk
2.
2. Was there
Tusk
any other
2.
ones?
We had Tusk
Oh,
2.
Tusk 3.
We did Tusk 3. This one's like the Tusk remake.
Oh, okay.
It'll have to have a different name. It'll be called Tusk Goes to Hollywood.
Yeah, something like that. So we get to the T where he gets, drugged, basically.
Yes.
Then it gets like to this flashback where it's him and his girlfriend Allie before the day before he goes to Canada for this trip, and she's like, "Why are you
Take me
doing
to
this? This just makes
Canada."
me take me to Canada, and also don't do this. You seem like an asshole."
And he's like, "Fuck you. Me
And he's
being
like,
an
"Yeah,
asshole makes me
Fuck
rich.
you.
Being the old me sucked, and now I'm an asshole. Now I'm rich."
And now I've made $100,000 off of just ads last year, so I'm cool now because I'm a douchebag on the internet. But then she's like, "Old me, old you had me." He's like, "Yeah, but
I still have you. Now suck my dick.
Yeah, suck my dick, bitch. I need to be cleansed before going to the Great White North."
Of course, after that flashback, we get a reveal after Howard goes, "Oh, there was a brown recluse and it bit you."
Yeah, a brown recluse, and it bit you, and there was this Dr. Moussier who had to amputate your leg.
Yeah, very, very sad. Anyway, we're gonna have dinner. Also, all the phones are destroyed, and the doctor's gone. Anyway, good luck with
he's
that.
just like, "What?" And his face the whole time is like, it could be like the result of him being drugged, but he still have this face where he's just like, "What happened to me? Why is my leg
What
gone?
is going on?
What is going on here?" It just seemed awkward.
Let me out of here. I didn't do anything. Oh, fuck.
Oh, let me out of here.
Yeah, but Justin
Yep.
Long figures out pretty quickly on his own that there was no doctor, and Howard Howe is doing something really fucked up to him. And Howard Howe reveals that I'm going
He
to
can
turn
walk.
you. Yeah, he can walk. That was
That was like, oh shit.
yeah.
He was lying the whole time.
Oh my god, what else was he lying about?
Wait,
I bet that
it,
bottle wasn't even from Ernest Hemingway.
no, probably not. It just made me also think about, do you remember that one Twitch streamer who was in a wheelchair, but then his whole career got kind of destroyed because he accidentally didn't turn his camera off and he started walking?
He was like, "Oh, I need." No, I think what happened. He went, "Oh, I need to go to the bathroom," and he got up and walked
Yeah,
away.
and then he got up and walked, and people were like, what?
Yeah, I remember that. That was funny.
Yep, that was.
Uh,
And then he was, yeah, gonna, turn him into a walrus.
of course, that allowed Justin Long's able to get his phone and is able to call for help. Well, he leaves
Both
messages for Allie
Ellie and Teddy.
and Teddy, who are both banging each other because Justin Long's a filthy cheater, which therefore means they can cheat on Allie can cheat on him.
Evens out. Fair enough.
Yeah, evens out. Polygamy and all that.
Yeah, obviously.
Which then leads us. So basically, does the surgery, and now Justin Long's in a makeshift walrus costume made out of human skin, and
Yep,
his bones. I'm assuming it's his leg bones are turned into like walrus tusks.
probably.
And then we get to, well, they get the message, and then they go up to Canada, where they begin their search for Justin Long, where then we get
Wallace.
introduced to literally the worst fucking character in the whole
In the
movie,
entire movie.
Johnny Depp.
Guy Lapointe. Because you gotta say it like a French.
Guy Lapointe.
And he just, yeah, it's just everything about his whole exposition dump on this Howard Howe and everything that he's done previously. And then the one little backstory where he met Howard in
The one really long
Quebec.
backstory.
Yes, the like backstory that probably takes, I don't know, what felt like 10 minutes really.
It felt like it went on forever, and then he goes, and then he's just like talking to Howard, who's like pretending to be a different guy. He's like, "Oh yes, there's a brown recluse spider in my toilet, haha, poopy."
It was more like there's a brown recluse in my toilet.
I like
But like more
hockey.
high pitched. It was
Hold on, let
very
me try.
weird.
There's a brown recluse in my toilet. How was that?
Probably the best we're gonna get, honestly.
And that scene goes on forever because they're the least interesting characters and it's unengaging. And that's when I started looking at my phone.
It was just really cringy too.
I'll give credit for this.
Was,
I think Johnny Depp had the funniest joke in my mind. Is when near the end of the movie where he opens the case and he tries to hand them the guns and he doesn't want it, and then he just goes, "What kind of Americans are you?" And I laugh.
That's probably the better joke in the whole movie. What kind of American doesn't want a gun?
But yeah, basically, while we get intercut with Johnny Depp and company trying to find Howard Howe to save Justin Long, Justin Long's pretty much getting tortured in this walrus costume in this random enclosure.
Yep.
And Howard Howe is just trying to manipulate him into becoming the walrus, forcing him to swim, where we get to reveal that there were many walruses
before,
because they're all dead in the bottom of a pool. Because Howard Howe has been killing people, and that's why Johnny Depp wants to find him. Because Howard Howe's a serial killer.
Yep, I think they said he's killed, previously like 23 people.
Yeah, 23 people. And eventually...
And then if it was Justin Long soon enough, it would have been 20. He would have been 24.
Yeah, because that's how numbers work.
Easy math.
Yep. But basically, eventually Howard Howe is just like, to become a true walrus, you must defeat me in combat. And he dons his own fucking walrus fucking costume.
Like a walrus skin suit almost.
Howard Howe goes full furry and just dons the whole walrus costume. And pretty much they battle it out, and as pretty much the group closes in on where Justin Long and Howard Howe are,
Yep.
and then Howard Howe was just like, "This isn't even my final form," and just stands up. In which then Justin Long's like, you know what, just fuck this. He stabs him with the tusk and just murders Howard Howe. Right
And
when his
Howard's
friends come
like,
in.
there you go.
You're
You
now
are
Mr.
now a
Tusk.
true walrus. You
You're
are Mr.
you are
Tusk.
now a furry.
You're officially
You
a furry.
you've become full furry now.
It's furrin time.
Yeah, he's like, it's furrin time, and then he furred all over the place.
Yep.
And in the end, it looks like Johnny Depp's gonna shoot Justin Long to put him out of his misery. But then we get a scene where Allie and Teddy go to like an animal enclosure where not Justin Long is living life as a walrus, and
It like
Justin
yeah,
Long
some
cries.
yeah, it's some like animal sanctuary, whatever it was. And that cry was like a callback because Ellie said her grandpa said to her that crying is what separates us from the
It's
animals.
not a callback. Literally, that's only told to us in that scene with a random
I
flashback
know,
scene
but they want you to think it's maybe a callback. I don't know.
to make you cry.
Yeah,
But
it's
as
to
we all
make you
know,
cry.
pimps don't cry,
Yes, pimps don't cry.
and they don't commit suicide. And that's the end of the movie.
Yay, the movie's
I
over.
also want to complain is that they have too many. There's a number of flashbacks which is just the same scene a second time, and
Yep.
that really annoyed me because like, why don't you do it from like the perspective of, like with the yoga hoser girls? Like you can do that scene because they do a flashback because they go talk to them about where he
Yep.
went, and you could have done it from like their perspective. Like you could have had them just look at him talking and go, "What a fucking annoying asshole." Like the only thing that gets added is when basically he writes down the address and then they do
Mm-hmm.
like they're like, "Oh, he's the mustache guy," and they hold out like the comb because Justin Long has like a douchey mustache.
Yeah, he's got a mustache. And then Johnny Depp uses that trick with the pencil where he can scribble to see where he wrote down where the address was, and boom, that's how they found him.
Yep.
How smart.
Well, they don't call him Johnny Depp for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's why. Maybe in Yoga Hosers, because he's apparently in that movie too. I think. Maybe it's revealed that he gets injured and he's like, "Take off my mustache and wig." They're like, "Oh my god, you're Johnny Depp." Yeah, it's me. I'm Johnny Depp.
That would be a great reveal.
Yeah, maybe we gotta see Yoga Hosers. It's got like a 1.8 on Letterbox. You know, we gotta.
1.9.
Oh wow, damn! I was off by 1 point. But I don't know. This is your movie, Cole. You got anything else left to add? Any Cole rants you got in you?
I mean, nothing more than just really that that this was just kind of garbage, but not as bad as some of the other movies. Like it's pretty bad, but it's still not like worse than like some of these other movies we've
Yeah,
seen.
it's not the worst, which
Mm-hmm.
is a low bar for a bad movie podcast, but it's something at least. But I guess if you don't have anything left to say, it's time for us to pick which one of these two films is the better of the two. Cole, which film do you think is better?
Um oh man, this is hard. I think I have to this is a tough decision, but I think I'm gonna go with Beware Children at Play.
Yep, same here. Beware Children at Play because they didn't have Johnny Depp show up to drag this movie out longer.
To ruin the movie.
Also, one of the best climaxes in cinema history with all the kids getting fucking murdered.
Yeah, that was again
So,
pretty funny.
why wouldn't it? I didn't hate Tusk as much as you did, going off of rating alone. But, I can't really pick it as the better movie, even if it is arguably maybe has
Mm-hmm.
more funding to it and everything. But with that, that's another point for Retro, and Retro has been pretty much like killing it. Like,
Yep.
when was the last modern pick that like won?
Let's.
Like, I don't think it's like even like close. I think it was like forever ago.
Hmm.
Here, I'll pop a squat and I'll check. I think. Let's see. That's
No,
my
yeah, Red
boy.
Zone Cuba won. Ice Cream Man,
Yeah,
Phobe.
yeah. No, that was a tie.
Yeah.
Tie.
Showgirls Swept Away. Showgirls won.
Yeah, Mario
Super
Bros.
Mario
Won.
Far Cry.
Roller Gator Center Sky was a tie. Bolero won. Soul Man Megas Missing was a tie. Dr. Alien won. Kissing Booth was a trilogy. Yeah, I think the last one was That's My Boy.
Oh my
Was our
God.
last modern pick that like won. Everything else has been retro or a tie. God damn, pick up your fucking
Crazy.
A game modern movies, bad movies.
Yeah, modern.
God damn. And that's a point for me. We've been also kind of been going back and forth on
Basically.
winners because I won this one, and last one you won, and then the one before that I won, and then before that you won by default, and then you won again last. This is crazy. We've been going back and forth. Who's gonna retake the lead? Who's gonna actually extend a lead?
We'll see.
We'll see. But with that, it's time to get to the questions. And by questions, I mean question, because we only actually got one, because we're recording this kind of
There's
early.
another. I did see another one in the self promo tab if you look at it.
Is there another one? I could have
Yep.
sworn there was a.
It
What the when you're gonna do the what Dreamcatcher?
No, the one that says favorite Wes Anderson. Or Anderson.
Is there one? I don't think I saw it. Oh well, we'll answer that too. Why not? But we'll start with the Mattias question, which he regretted not asking last episode. Donald Duck or Daffy Duck? Because we had the Howard the Duck talk
Yep.
last episode.
Yep. I think I gotta go Daffy. I don't know why.
Yeah, I think Daffy Duck is funnier than
Mm-hmm.
Donald Duck. Donald Duck's still pretty good. Like
Donald Duck is good.
like we're arguing S tiers here. Like we're picking which S tier is our
Mhm.
favorite of the two.
What S tier duck is our favorite?
And for me, well, clearly the Affleck Duck's number one.
Oh, true. The Affleck duck.
If I had to give it a second place, it would have to be Daffy Duck.
Okay.
I just think he's like funnier. I think it helps that
Mm-hmm.
like Donald Duck, while is more of the comedically a slapstick one as well with Daffy. Daffy Duck is just
Yeah.
fight everyone. Like he's got to be
Yep.
with like every person every time, and that's like hilarious.
Yeah, that's pretty
Yeah,
funny.
it's pretty funny. He's a funny duck.
That ducking duck.
Yeah, that ducking fuck.
That ducking fuck.
All right, that was a quick one. Well, I
Yep.
guess I'm assuming this is a Luca question because Luca's literally been drunk off of Asteroid City for the last couple days. So I haven't seen but what's your favorite Wes Anderson film? I haven't seen every single one, but I actually have like a list of the ones that I have seen
Neither
ranked.
have I, but I'd have to take a look quickly. West.
Like which ones have you seen?
I have seen Asteroid City, Rushmore, Grand Budapest, Fantastic Mr. Fox, French Dispatch, Moonrise Kingdom, Isle of Dogs, and Darjeeling Limited.
Yeah, because I think he has 11 films now with counting Asteroid City. I'm actually considering watching that tonight. Yeah, he has Bottle Rockets, Asteroid City, Rushmore, Life
Yep.
Aquatic, Darjeeling Limited, Royal Tenenbaums, Isle of Dogs, Moonrise Kingdom, French Dispatch, Fantastic Mr. Frost, and Grand Budapest. So yeah, so he has 11 feature films. I've currently seen 6 of them myself. I've seen I've seen the Grand Budapest, I've seen Life Aquatic, I've seen Isle of Dogs, Fantastic Mr. Fox, Moonrise Kingdom, and the Royal Tenenbaums, and I've seen Son of Bottle Rockets. I kind of saw it. I was like cooking while
Mm,
I was there, so I was more focused on the cooking than the actual movie. I had that on as like background noise, so I can't
yeah.
properly rate it. But I remember what I did see. I did like Bottle Rockets.
Okay.
Like let's make this a little more interesting. Let's like do our ranking of the Wes Anderson films
Oh
we've
man.
seen. So my personal least favorite, like my number 6 spot, is the Royal Tenenbaums. I don't know how many you seen. You said 7.
Wait, let me count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
You've seen 8.
Only
Okay.
ones I haven't seen are Tenenbaums, Bottle Rocket, and Life Aquatic.
All right. You should probably since I already did my 6. I think the Royal Tenenbaum is fine. It's like a 6 out of 10 movie, but it just hasn't clicked with me like the other Anderson films I've seen. You should speedrun your 8th, 7th, and 6th favorite since I've already done my 6th.
Man. Yeah, because that's weird. Because I've rated each of the movies I've seen from him like either an 8 or a 9. So, hmm.
Yeah, most of the films I have are listed as eights and nines as well. The Royal Tenenbaums is the odd one out because that is that at a 6 out of 10.
Mm, let's go. Not really in a particular order, 876, but maybe I would go Rushmore, French Dispatch, then probably Moonrise Kingdom.
All right.
Because, yeah, then I go Darjeeling Limited, Fantastic Mr. Fox, Asteroid City, Isle of Dogs, then Grand Budapest would be my favorite.
I thought we were gonna do a back and forth, but
Oh,
you've already just sped ran yours, so I guess I'll go through mine as well. So you spoke of Moonrise. I also have Moonrise Kingdom as number 5. I feel like it's like a really, really simple story overall, but I do think it's really well told, and I appreciate it for that. Bruce Willis was really good. Seeing him in a role that isn't just cool action man, so he was really good in that, and I enjoy that
yep.
performance. My number 4 is Fantastic Mr. Fox. I also think it's a really good stop motion film. I really enjoyed it. Fun little fact: I have a cousin who hates this movie. He hates Fantastic Mr. Fox, and I don't know why. He doesn't explain. He just tells me that he hates it.
Hmm.
My number 3 is Isle of Dogs. I enjoy that one a little bit more than Fantastic Mr. Fox, and actually, I watched it for film club because it was paired with my movie, The
Yeah.
Island of Giant Insects.
Oh, God.
Classic. My number 2 is The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou. I think this is
Okay.
really great. I know some people aren't as big on it, but I personally think it's a really, really great movie, and I highly recommend it. So you should get on that as soon as you can. Really, really great. And my number 1 is also The Grand Budapest Hotel. I think that one's really, really good.
I really just think it's got like the best characters, best sets, just the most like investing and most interesting overall. Even though that's not really saying too much because it's like Wes Anderson, like yeah, Wes Anderson does like make the same style of movies most of the time, but it's like, hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I mean, if he wants to keep doing what he wants to do, I don't mind it.
Yeah, Grand Budapest Hotel, literally like the nicest character that fucking Ralph Fiennes has ever been in. Because like almost, I feel like almost every film I see him, in, he's like an asshole. He's like an asshole at best and like a
Yep.
psychopath at worst.
Yeah.
Well, no, with the exception of the gentleman, I don't think he's like their hero protagonist.
Oh, I haven't seen The Gentleman.
I saw it in a theater because a friend wanted to see it. Uh, I'm not gonna lie. Do you care if I spoil it a bit?
Yeah, I don't really care.
Okay. Well, there's one scene in the movie where there's this one character that you really really like. Well, there's a scene where he gets shot in the head by an ally in World War I, and I laughed out loud at that scene in the theater, and then I got dirty looks from like the people next to me because I was the only guy who laughed out loud at this guy that we're supposed to care about getting shot in the head. But in my defense, it was really funny. And yeah, that's really it for questions unless someone dropped one on us last second. Nope.
Nope.
So yeah, that's well that's it for our questions. So anyway, uh now that that's done, it's time for us to do our recommendations, and since
Yay.
I did the retro pick this episode, Cole, you get to do the retro pick. So what is your retro pick, Cole?
Okay. So my retro pick is I don't, there was like a day my dad and I we were going through all the Indiana Jones movies and we were scrolling on Paramount Plus and there was this movie I saw and I was like, okay, this might be interesting. I had to double check to make sure the rating was fine. It's a 2.4
All right.
and it's called Curse of Bigfoot from 1975.
Curse of Bit. Ooh, we haven't done a Bigfoot movie in a while.
I know. I thought that was also fitting.
Inadvertently, you actually fucked me up because I was actually been planning to do a Bigfoot recommendation soon because we haven't done one in a while, and now I can't because you recommended one. Now I can't go, well, we haven't recommended a Bigfoot movie since Suburban Sasquatch, so this is what we're going to talk about. Now I'm going to have to think of something different, you bastard.
Yay.
I'm looking at the letterbox. That's an interesting picture.
Yeah.
Uh, well, I guess it's time for my modern pick. Ooh. Now, I am stuck because I have two
Okay.
films that I really, really think would be interesting to talk about, possibly.
Okay.
I don't know which one it is, so I'm going to dump it on you, and I'm going to make this interesting. I'm going to tell you the year that the film come out, and you're going
Okay.
to pick which year. And to be a little extra fair to you, since a year isn't a lot, I allow you to ask one question to help make your decision, but you cannot ask for the titles of the movie.
Okay.
So your year, the two films, the years that these two films come out, one comes out in 2012, and another one comes out in 2021.
2012 and 20 genres.
Okay, so the 2012 genres listed is action,
Okay.
and the 2021's films genre is drama.
Drama.
That's the themes that are listed on Letterboxd for those two films. 2012
Action.
is action and
Hmm.
2021 is drama.
I just get one question, right?
That was your one question.
Okay. Let me just look at The Curse of Bigfoot again. Let's see. Oh, TV, movie, and horror. Okay, so let's do the 2021.
All right then. This is what you picked, Cole.
Oh fuck.
2021's Dear Evan Hansen. So, if you
Oh
don't
my
want to get
god.
spoiled for Curse of Bigfoot or Dear Evan Hansen, how about checking out those movies for the next episode? And hey, how about you like and subscribe and ask us questions so, we can answer that all that fun stuff. And you all have a good day and a happy Morbius.
Happy Morbius. Richard.
Richard, John. Happy Tusk. Happy Furby.
Happy Beware, there are children at play.
Happy Children's Slaughtering Day. Yeah, happy Blastin' Pow Pow.
Pow pow.
Happy Walrus Day, everybody. Bye bye.
Bye.